Hi friends, and happy Deepavali. So today is lesson 22. So what we're gonna cover today is past year questions. Okay, I have covered all the topics and subtopics in linear law already. So we're gonna focus on past year questions. Okay, so I have screenshots questions on Unit 8B, straight line graphs, which is linear law from your past year book, the orange color book, right? So I've picked a few questions here. So for this question, you can copy down. Okay, question 12. I'm picking question 12A and B. Right, you copy the question, or if you want, you can scan and print it out and stick into your notebook. Okay, so before that, let's check our previous homework first. So let's double check your example 3. Please open your PDF file that I've written back to you. Please check if there is any correction need to be done. Okay, so example 3, okay, plot ln y against x, which including this working over here, big Y, big X, M and C, right? And I think the gradient here, everyone get the same thing. Okay, 3.3 here, so your Q and your P here in 3 significant figure. Okay, and your part 3 here, x is equals to 9. There's no problem with that. Okay, for question 3, I've picked Aaron's from Year 9 Science 1 work. Okay, let's check his work. So, explain how straight line graph may be plotted. So, plot ln y against x. Okay, so this is correct, right? And then gradient is 0.45, which is also correct. Okay, therefore your B is 0.45. Here, ln A is 3.2 according to the C here. The C must be according to your own graph, okay? His graph is 3.2, so it's correct, okay? So his A here is 24.5. Please take note that everyone's graph is different. Yours can be 3.2, can be 3.1, can be 3.15. So your answer will be different, okay? Part 3 here, our check from here, okay, it's 7.5, but how about the X? Let's check the X. Okay, so he checked from the graph. Okay, this trace must be shown. Okay, this trace of using graph must be shown because the question say use your graph. Okay, use your graph. So you must use your graph to show. So this trace must be shown here. So this is not 8.75. Okay, Aaron, this is 9.5. Okay, this is basically 9.5. So this is 9.5. Right? Okay, so that's all for the homework here. Alright, so let's do this question together. Okay, let's read the question together also. The table shows experimental values of two variables, x and y. Okay, this table is already given. It is known that x and y are related by the equation. Okay, we have an equation here. Okay, so y plus 10 equals to a x power x, where a and k are constants. Using graph paper, plot. Okay, we know that our big Y is here. This is our big Y. And against X. Okay, against X. So this is our big X. Okay, so you need to build a table first. Okay, you use your graph. Okay, they did not say draw a graph, but it says using graph paper. So if they say using graph paper, automatically you must think of you need to draw that graph. Okay. For the above data, and use your graph to estimate. Okay, you need to estimate these two, part 1 and part 2. So before that, we construct a table and draw our graph first so that we can find our value of a and k. Okay, so I will fill in this x. Okay, my big X is still x, and my big Y is log y plus 10. Okay, so here we need to press calculator. We need to press calculator to find our big Y. The big X is still x, so I write it all down. For Y here, right, it's log y plus 10. So log, when you press calculator, log bracket negative 7.5 plus 10. Okay, so I get 0.40. And then I press calculator again, sub in my Y value to the log y plus 10. I get 0.75, and then this one I get 1.12. This one, when I sub in 22.4 is 32.4, straight away I plus. So log 32.4, 1.51, and then 1.89. Right, so I draw my graph now. Okay, I'll be using a scale of x-axis, which is 2 centimeter by 1 unit. So 1 here. The highest here is 7.8, so I up until 8. And then as for my big Y, the biggest is 1.89, so I'll go up to 2 lah. So 0.5 here, 1, 1.5 and 2. So this is my log Y plus 10, and this is my X. Okay, so I'm gonna draw my graph now. 0.5 to 0.4, so it's here. Every 2 little boxes here is 0.1, so 0.4 is there. 2.2, 0.75 is in between 0.5 and 1. And 4 to 1.12, so it's somewhere here. 5.9 to 1.51, okay, somewhere 1.5. And then 7.8 is 1.89. Okay, somewhere 1.9. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a line here. So this is my line, right? So now we can answer part 1. So part 1, they say find the value of A and of K, right? So first step, of course, what we're gonna do is finding the gradient from this graph that we plot. Okay, so gradient we will pick from here, any 2 points from here. So for me, I will pick 0.5, 0.4, actually any point also okay lah. And then 2.2, 0.75. Okay, so I'll be using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I get 0.35 over 1.7. And I press calculator, I get 0.20588 and so on. I don't round off to 3 sig fig first because I don't know whether my final answer is this or not. Okay, this is just M. We are finding A and K, okay? So after finding M, my C, okay, my y-intercept here is 0.3. Okay, so my y-intercept C equals to 0.3. So my big Y equals to 0.20588x, x is supposed to be capital letter, plus 0.3, and my Y is log Y plus 10 equals to, my X is still X, 0.3. Okay, and then I compare with the original equation, the nonlinear equation over here. So I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to reduce that. Actually, reduce this is easier than you change this to this form. Okay, so I'm going to reduce that part. So y plus 10 equals to a k power x. So I'm going to log both sides here. Don't forget to put bracket. Okay, and then this log, don't separate them. You cannot separate them, become log y plus log 10. Okay, it's not. This one can. You can break it down to like that, and then bring this x down. This one you leave it. Okay, I'm gonna put x log k plus log a. Alright, so now this x and log k, this is my m, this is my big X, okay? You don't write log kx like this, because if you write x in here at this this area here, it means that you are trying to say the x times with the k. Okay, it's not x times with the k. It's supposed to be x times with the kx. So basically, it's like this. Okay, so if you want to see a clearer version, okay, so I'm gonna write like this: log k bracket x plus log a. Okay, so my log k is equals to this. Okay, I can compare now this one, and log a equals to 0.3. Okay, so I'm gonna compare that. So 0.20588 equals to log k. So my k, I move there, is 10 to the power of 0.20588. Okay, so 10 to the power of, I get around 3 sig fig 1.61. 3 sig fig. Okay, so this is my answer for k. And now to find a, so 0.3 equals to log a. So my a is 10 to the power of 0.3. So my a is 1.995 ... Okay, 3 sig fig is 2.00. Okay, you must put 0.00. Why? Because to show that it's not a whole number, it's not an exact value for 2. It has a number behind undefined here. Okay, so I found my k and a. This is my part 1 answer. And for part 2, the value of x when y equals to 6. Okay, so this question here, they say you must use your graph. You see, it's from here, use your graph to estimate. So you cannot just sub in y equals to 0 into the equation. Okay, you need to use the graph to find the answer. Okay, so part 2, I'm gonna do it here. Okay, you do here. You do somewhere there. Okay, I'm doing here because I want you guys to see clearly. So y equals to 0. So when y equals to 0, you sub into the equation here. Okay, I'm gonna sub in this y. Becomes 0 plus 10. So it's equals to log 10, which is 1. Okay, so you find 1 here. You find 1 and then you can find your x straight away from your graph. Okay, so I put from 1 here, I ... You trace. You must show that you are tracing here to find the answer. And then here. So the answer is 3.45. Okay, therefore your x is 3.45. So this is the answer for your x for part 2. Okay, so that's all for 12A. Okay, my next question is 12B. Okay, question doesn't require a graph paper. Okay, if you can recap back what we have learned in the earlier lessons, right? So this question here, you are given an equation here. Okay, so your big Y is Y squared, your big X is X cubed. Okay, it's already stated here in the question as well. And it's passing through this point. Okay, find or calculate the value of P and of Q. Okay, so first of all, what we need to do is we find, the gradient is already given. So the gradient is 3 over 4. First step, you remember, find M and C. Yeah, that is the first step. So I found my M. M is already in the question, so I find my C. Don't forget, must be big Y, must be big Y equals to 3 over 4 big X plus C. Okay, common mistake that students make is they put like this, y squared equals to 3 over 4 x cubed plus c. So when they find c, they sub in 1 over 2 and 1 over 4 to the x and the y. So it becomes like this, lor. Then when you find c here, it's wrong. This one, wrong. I write down common mistake here. So what I always encourage to write is big Y and big X. So you know that this point, when you sub in, you must sub into the big X and big Y, because this represent big X, this represent big Y, not small x, small y. So when you sub in here, it means that you thought this half and 1 over 4 is small x and small y. So it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. I'm showing out here to show you that it's wrong. So I sub in here, goes to 3 over 4, my big X is half, plus C. Okay, so I find my C here, 1 over 4 minus 3 over 8. So my C is negative 1 over 8. Okay, so big Y equals to 3 over 4 big X minus 1 over 8. And to find the nonlinear equation, we sub in back cubed minus 1 over 8. Okay, we found the equation, but they don't want the equation, right? What they want is calculate the value of P and Q. Okay, so after this step 1 to 3, now we go to step 4 and 5, which is from the nonlinear equation, we reduce. Okay, we reduce. Okay, I'm gonna write down here. So we're gonna reduce this px cubed plus qy squared equals to 1 into big Y as your y squared and big X as your x cubed. Okay, so I'm moving to that side like this. So my y squared, okay, I divide by q, so become like that, plus 1 over q. Okay, last step, we compare. Now 3 over 4 we can compare with this. We have 1 over q with negative 1 over 8. Okay, so since these are two unknowns here, so 1 over q, we find q first. So 1 over q equals to negative 1 over 8. So my q is negative 8. Okay, so this is my answer for q. And then for p, okay, I compare the blue one. Negative p over q equals to 3 over 4. And my negative 8 is q equals to 3 over 4. So p equals to 3 over 4 times 8. So it's 6. That's for my part 1. Okay, so now my part 2. Okay, what's my part 2 question? Okay, here a bit messy. Given also that this line passes through K4. Okay, remember this K and 4 is not small x, small y, it's a big X, big Y. So, where do you sub in this one? Okay, the easiest way to sub in is sub into the equation here. This one, we're gonna sub into this equation. Alright? Okay, so my part 2, I will sub into my big Y equals to 3 over 4 big X minus 1 over 8. And my 4 is my big Y. K is my big X. Okay, like that. Okay, and then we can solve our K lah. So this one is 33 over 8. You press calculator mana tahu I got careless mistake leh. This one move become divide. So it's 33 over 8 divided by 3 over 4. So my K, you press calculator, is 5.5. Okay, correct or wrong? You decide. I don't know whether it's correct or wrong. Maybe I purposely write wrong leh. I purposely calculate wrong. Who knows, right? Okay, so that's for question number 12. I've done my question number 12 now. So for today's lesson, okay, for today's lesson, what I want you to do is only this question number 12, including the question, okay? So today there's no homework, nothing for you to do, only this lesson, okay? Faster say thank you. Come on, say thank you 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you to me. No work to do today. So good, right? Okay, you guys deserve it, Okay, that's all for me today. See you guys again in next week. Before I end my video lesson, in my video here, okay, next week, you please prepare, okay? Please prepare for next week. You're gonna wake up early, okay? Gonna wake up early. I will send you question and I want you to do the questions within the period of the time, okay? During my lesson lah, that 1 hour, okay? Because this time you're gonna do using timer, okay? Just like how we did in coordinate geometry last time, okay? The independent lesson, okay? I give you a preparation already, mentally prepare already, okay? So you have to do using timer now, on the next lesson, okay? So that's all from me today. Bye!